September call-ups are officially here, and I've got 10 rookies you need to add to your team, including Sal Stewart, Harry Ford, and more on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're a number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominick Martino, riding solo, as you can see if you're watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. It's going to subscribe you to the channel and give you a notification every time we drop a new episode. Or if you're listening on the audio side of things, once again, please make sure you subscribe. And if you're listening on a platform like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly appreciate it if you could do that for us as well. And guys, what's going to help you win your fantasy baseball league is joining Matt and I on the Insiders Track, where we offer so much more than we can in these 30-minute episodes, and it's the perfect time of year to give us a chance, with that little secret weapon. So the link is in the bio once again, wherever you're listening, watching, and it's available on any of our social media platforms. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning future bets now. And all right, guys, as I mentioned it earlier, September call-ups are here. So you know what? We're doing things a little bit differently today. We're probably not going to see too many more rookies if any major names get called up after today. So I got about 3 or 4 big names, 2 really big ones, a couple other ones minor. But then what I did is I integrated 7 other rookies in here that have been performing really well. Some names we talked about of late, some names we haven't. So, still a very rookie, call up based kind of episode. No injury stashes. Listen, if you need injury stashes, check the previous episode. We're getting to the point of year where we're probably going to phase that out. It's just tough this time of year. There's not really many injured players that are going to make the return in time. And to be honest, after this week, I don't know how many more prospect-centric episodes or call-up-centric episodes or stash episodes we're going to do, because, playoffs are here in most leagues, and, we're here to help you win now, right? So let's get to it. Sal Stewart is, the first, big call-up here. He plays third base and a little bit of second for those Cincinnati Reds. 31st prospect in all of baseball, and he was having a great season down in the minors. Sal Stewart was 118 games played, 309 batting average, 78 runs, 34 doubles, 20 homers, 80 RBIs, 46 walks to 77 strikeouts, and he's also stolen 17 bags down there as well. Now listen, don't really expect him to steal too many bases. He's really not known for his speed. The big Sal Stewart is 6'1", 224. He's got some power in that bat. Also, has a nice little hit tool there too. Has, had solid batting averages throughout his minor league career. I don't know if the 309 is sticky, but hey, could he hit, 280-ish? I definitely see that in the realm of possibilities. And especially there's not a lot of time for the league to figure out Stewart. If he goes out there and he just, has the feel for it right away, listen, if he could hit 2-3 weeks, that's golden. That's all you need him to do. So Sal Stewart is 8% owned on Yahoo. As I mentioned, he's got that second and third eligibility. In his first game, which is here on September 1st, as I'm recording, he went 1 for 3 with a run, and he hit 6th in that Reds lineup. Listen, second, third, there's been injuries of late. If you lost to Luis Robert, Austin Riley, I know that, Robert plays outfield, but, still just another big bat. Corey Seager, I know he plays shortstop, but still another big bat that went down. You could potentially go out there, grab Sal Stewart. Like I mentioned, good track record in the minors, a little bit of batting average, a little bit of power. That's what I would expect from Stewart here down the stretch. Probably, my favorite September call-up that I saw through, these young guys today. Let's move on to another guy, though. Let's talk a little bit about Harry Ford. Gets called up for Seattle here. And listen, he plays catcher, but, hey, listen, they got Cal Raleigh over there, so what are they going to do with Harry Ford? So the suspicion here is I don't know if Ford's going to play every single day. I think they're going to try and, make room for a guy like this. I don't think you call, a guy like Harry Ford up unless, you're going to let him play, a good amount. He's number 40 prospect in all of baseball. Honestly, I think he was higher, last year, 2 years ago. But he's had some ups and downs, especially last year where he hit 249. But things are going well for Ford this season in the minors. He's hit 283 over 97 games with 68 runs, 18 doubles, 16 homers, 74 RBIs. Great walk to strikeout ratio. Improved it a lot from last year. 74 walks to 88 strikeouts. 7 steals. Last year, Harry Ford stole 35 bags, though. Year before, 24. So there's a little bit of speed in the profile here. Actually, I don't even want to say a little bit of speed. There's a good amount of speed in the Harry Ford profile here, right? So little power speed combo. I don't know if the 283 batting average is, gonna live up to the hype that he's put up in the minors so far this year. But hey, could he hit 250, 260 with, steal some bags, hit a couple of homers down the stretch? I could see it for Harry Ford. And it's nice because I don't know how much catcher he's, like I said, he's actually going to play with Cal Raleigh over there. So not a lot of reps at the catcher position. I still think they're going to find a way to sneak Harry Ford in the lineup over there in Seattle. I don't think, like I said, it just doesn't make sense to call up a top prospect like this at this time of year to just have him not play. So I think, DH is going to be a prime spot for Harry Ford. Actually, if you give me a second, I kind of want to see what roster resource says for a guy like Harry Ford here, because I just think we should at least have some sort of idea before we're going out there and pick him up. Harry Ford is also 1% owned on Yahoo, so he's out there in pretty much every single league that we're playing in right now. So I don't know if they have Harry Ford coming off the bench because Polanco's been DHing a little bit. Cole Young's been out there. So once again, Harry Ford might not be an everyday kind of guy. And this might be more of a 2-catcher league, an AL only, that type of format. That's what I'm thinking here for a Harry Ford at the moment. One of the top 50 prospects in all of baseball. So Seattle's been a good team. They're in second in the AL West right now. So he could come up and just force the hand where hey, you got to play me at DH, put Polanco at second. Cole Young, at last I checked, he's been mediocre at best, and I think I'm being a little bit generous. Cole Young hitting 228 over 202 at bats with 4 homers and a steal. So I can see Harry Ford making Seattle move things around here and saying, hey, you know what, you got to play me because I've been raking of late and I'm coming up and I'm going to do the same thing. So once again, Harry Ford, 1% owned on Yahoo, catcher eligible, Seattle Mariners prospect, one of their September call-ups of today. Let's keep it pushing though. We got one more big name, not big name, but top 100 prospect that got the call up here, with the September call-ups being done today. Carter Jensen, catching prospect for those Kansas City Royals. Now Jensen is the 69th prospect in all of baseball. He's got a little bit of power, 6 foot 210, doing good in the minors this year. 111 games played for Jensen, 290 batting average, 72 runs, 20 homers, 20 doubles, 76 RBIs, 60 walks, 222 strikeouts, and 10 steals. I would say this. It seems it's tough to say. I kind of want to see once again where Jensen, if he's going to be getting everyday reps over there with the call up, because you know what. Once again, you got Salvador Perez over there who's been, getting more reps at catcher. Jack, just a little spoiler alert, Jac Caglianone's back up. We're going to talk about him next. So Carter Jensen, another guy, don't know if he's going to play every single day, but it's tough when a guy like this gets the call. Why are you calling him up then? I think he's going to get some reps. If you missed out on Harry Ford, who's 1% owned on Yahoo, I don't know. You probably didn't miss out on Harry Ford. But Carter Jensen in, dynasty formats, if he's out there, he wasn't owned, and you could add him to your team, keep him next year, free 99. Maybe get traded for something in the offseason if he has a nice little stretch here. Those types of formats. And Carter Jensen is also 1% owned on Yahoo. Your 2-catcher leagues, your AL onlys, those types of formats is once again, I have Harry Ford over Jensen and Sal Stewart over both of them. But before we move on, and we talk about, some other rookies, like I already spoiled, Jac Caglianone. We're going to talk Colson Montgomery, who is, still hot. And then we got some pitchers, for the New York Mets. Nolan McLean, Jonah, Tong, those names and more coming up next. And all right, guys, I want to talk to you about my friends over at Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simple and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. I've been playing on Prize Picks lately, and it's such a fun way to stay locked on for the season. I love checking projections like Josh Allen for more or less than 270 passing yards, or Saquon Barkley for more or less than 1 rushing touchdown. And the best part, even if one of your picks misses, Prize Picks invented the flex play, so you can still double your money. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 off. To get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's the code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. And all right, guys, I do want to talk to you about one more thing that we got going on over here. We have an important request, right? Locked On wants to hear from you. We put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcast even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes a survey will be entered for a chance to win one of our 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the show notes. Hey, thanks for helping us out, guys. So, one more thing, guys, please bear with me. And this one's really actually super important. So, it's a time of year where you might be a little bit focused on fantasy football, and you might have missed out. You might have not seen the major Sal Stewart call up, and it might have hurt you. But there might, contrary to what I said earlier, there might be 1 or 2 more prospects that get the call, big name ones. So you want to lock on with Matt and I on the Insider's Track, where links in the bio if you're listening or watching. And it's just going to be a little secret weapon that's going to help you win. When we do episodes like this, I'll rank these guys for you, and I'll tell you how you should prioritize them when you're going to add them. Waiver wire episodes, same applies there. Like I said, if those prospects get called up, you're going to get the instant prospect notification going right to your phone when those guys get called up. So that, once again, if you want to join us on the Insider Track, link is in the bio if you're listening, watching, and it's available on any of our social media platforms. But let's keep things pushing here. I already talked about him, and he's back. It's Jac Caglianone of the Kansas City Royals, former top prospect, this year before he got the call. And, he's back up. He struggled in his first 41 games in the bigs with a 147 batting average, 9 runs, 5 homers, 10 RBIs in this deal. But you know what? He was heating up before he got hurt. And, he was, doing a great job. In 16 games in his minor league rehab assignment, he was hitting .385, just showing off what he could do over there. Had 5 home runs in those 16 games as well. So, listen, I said this about Caglianone before we got the call. Matt and I were talking about him a bit. And I don't know if he ever lives up to the batting average hype, right? Because, in the minors, had some, showings of a little bit of batting average tool. And, when he graded out in, prospect grades, they, thought he was going to be not a big batting average guy, but a decent batting average guy. Hit .337 in 66 games across all minor league levels this year. .236 though in 2024, and then in college, just obviously he mashed for Caglianone, down at Florida. But the thing is here, I think he could wind up being maybe a 260, 270 guy, 30, 40 home runs, easy, a lot of RBI potential. He's got the Nick Kurtz in him. I just don't know if he lives up to it. But would we be really mad if Jac Caglianone becomes like a Kyle Schwarber light where he, once again, 220, 230, 40 bombs? I'm cool with that. He doesn't have to hit the 260, 270. Even if he could do it with the 230, 240, it's still going to be useful. I truly believe this Kansas City Royals team is putting something together here, man. Pasquatch is doing his thing, finally coming on. Bobby Witt having another good year. Michael Garcia having, nice year. Salvador Perez, the old wily vet at 35. Not sure if this is his last year or not. So we'll see, we'll see how things go. But I think Caglianone really needs to, find his footing here, which he can do. He's only 22% owned on Yahoo. He's very young. I really think, at 22 years old, Caglianone, we give him a little bit more time. And don't forget, this kid's 6'5", 250. So he could definitely hit the ball over the fence. So if you're looking for a little bit of power here, going down the stretch and you're not worried about potential batting average liability, I'd go out there and I'd snag Caglianone. I do like him quite a bit. Let's go on to someone else who's been showing off, the power stretch here of late, and it's Colson Montgomery of those Chicago White Sox. And, once again, Matt and I have talked about him, a little bit of late, but that power is just really, really been going here, honestly. I got to do it like this. I want to see his August numbers because he had a monster August. Colson Montgomery did, another guy, former top prospect, rookie year, already has 15 home runs through 46 games. This is some real power here. This is some real power from Colson Montgomery, and you just got to ride the hot wave right now while he's getting this done. 35% owned on Yahoo, and it's only been going up of late. So let's do Colson Montgomery just in August. Let's see those numbers because it's been a phenomenal month. And then he even hit a home run on July 29th, if we want to include that in here too. So, yeah. I'm sorry. 10 home runs in August, 5 home runs in July. And the 10 home runs are in 24 games. If we want to include that one on July 29th, it was 11 home runs in 25 games for the young Colson Montgomery. Like I said, power's legitimate. A lot of RBIs, too, have come with it. 38 RBIs in 46 games played. I know it's the White Sox, but listen, the kid's out there getting it done. He's been hitting cleanup, in this White Sox lineup. But he's been moving around. He's hit third a couple of times. He's hit fifth a couple of times as well. But for me, honestly, if you need a third baseman or a shortstop, Colson Montgomery's out there. The power is legitimate. Just don't know how good the batting average is going to be. He hit 198 in August, but the 10 home runs and 20 RBIs is not killing you by any means. And then I want to even say since August 22nd, it looks like he's finding his footing a little bit more here, because he's had 1, 2, 3 multi-hit games since then. Literally since August 22nd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 home runs since August 22nd for Montgomery, and then he homered again today on September 1st. So that's 11 home runs. He's just, if you don't get the point, he's been hitting home runs like crazy. OPS has been amazing. A lot of RBIs. Runs, 26 runs in 46 games isn't killing you either. He's not really known for his speed, so not really going to count him too much for that at all. So Colson Montgomery, though, I'd go out there and snag him. 35% on Yahoo, third in short eligibility on Yahoo, Chicago White Sox player. But guys, before we move on, no, let's sneak him in. Let's do Hyeseong-Kim. Gets the call back up, and the roster's expanded, man. I think they finally just have to let him stay up, let him play. He's been good, man. I really wish for, us fantasy baseball players that the Dodgers could get him out there every day, because Hyeseong-Kim, 58 games played on the year, 304 batting average, 17 runs, 2 homers, 15 RBIs, 12 steals. He's been good. Has second short outfield eligibility on Yahoo. With the September call-ups, like I said, he's back. He's back for the first time since late July. And, once again, he's just been good. So I don't know how much time he's going to get out there for fantasy baseball purposes. So he might not be near the top of this list, probably close to the bottom as far as, pickups, but in deeper leagues, your NL onlys, your 15s, or stuff like that. It does look like, according to, roster reference, baseball resources over here, Hyeseong-Kim's going to play second. So if he does go out there and gets the playing time, he should be worth it. He's going to help you in steals. He's going to help you in batting average. Looks like he's going to hit near the bottom of the lineup, so could potentially help you in runs a little bit if he hits ninth. Because obviously that top of that Dodgers lineup turns over, and, that's it with Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. So, we'll see where the thing goes. I like Hyeseong-Kim. I just really wish he would have got more of a fair shake there in, Los Angeles with the Dodgers this season, because put up really good numbers when the Dodgers did give him the chance to go out there and do it. And before we get into this second and final, half of this episode, and we do some pitchers, like I said, the Mets pitchers, McLean and Tong. We'll talk about Peyton, Tolle again, and then you got even one sneaky name, and I'll throw it out there, Seymour. So guys, stick around for those names coming up. And folks, real quick, I want to talk to you about my friends over at Upside. Come on, Locked On Fantasy Baseball fans. Are you still paying full price for gas? Come on. If you are, stop leaving money behind. Got real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code season and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and now you can too. Plus, you can cash out at any time to your bank account, PayPal, or e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code. Once again, that's going to be season for a limited 25% per gallon bonus. Once again, that's the promo code season. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. And all right, guys, I got one more for you. Got to talk to my friends over at FanDuel, of course. The NFL season is just about here, guys. This week, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I personally love using FanDuel because it fits in however you like, to bet, whether you like player props, building up a same-game parlay, or just even jumping in on the live action as it unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? If you are, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. Once again, that's FanDuel.com, the place to bet your first $5. And all right, guys, let's finish this episode up. Got a couple of names that we've spoken about a bit here, but you know what? We got to talk about them just in case they might be out there in your league. Nolan McLean, man, he has been awesome, dude. Just really, really good showing from McLean here through his first three, major league starts. Has won all three of them in 0.89 ERA and 0.69 whip, 20 innings, 21 strikeouts, every bit as advertised for the number 37 overall prospect in MLB before getting the call. His last start against the Phillies, a team, that can go out there any night and hit against anybody. 8 innings, got the win, 6 strikeouts, no earned runs, 0.5 whip, quality start. Atlanta in his second start, 7 innings, got the win, 7 strikeouts, gave up a couple of runs. 0.57 whip in that one. Quality start again. I mean, what else is there to say about McLean? He's just been, like I said, every bit as advertised. The stuff looks great, getting a fantastic movement on it. I'm out here in New York. I have a couple of buddies that, went to, McLean's debut, actually said it looked fantastic. The stuff looked good, looked as lively, as it does in person as it does on the screen. Getting good results, once again, on his pitches, the sweepers looked good. Batter sitting 250 against that. The sinker, though, I think is, where he's, really been making his bread and butter at that 95 miles an hour, has a lot of movement on it. Batters are hitting 136 against that. Got the big curveball, too. Batters hitting 091 against the curveball. Even has a four-seamer that he mixes in, which gets up to, 96. So he has that sinker, that's 95, four-seamer 96, sweeper sitting around 85, curveball at 80 miles an hour. Even mixes in a cutter here and there, which he throws at 90, 91, a changeup that goes out there here and there too. So he's throwing the kitchen sink, McLean is, and like I said, gets good movement, lively pitches for this young kid. Another one of the pitchers that was one of the biggest risers in all of the prospect rankings this year, just because how good McLean has been. So McLean must add, if he's out there in your league, I'm sorry, you got to pose the podcast check. If he is, make the room. I just think he's going to be really good down the stretch. Gets Detroit, as you guys are listening here on Tuesday. I like that matchup. If it's a same day ad, go out there and do it. Detroit's still, been one of the better teams this year, but 4-6 in the last 10. So Detroit has been slowing down a little bit. But once again, McLean himself, man, just like I said, every bit is advertised. Like I said, the big slider with the nice curveball. The sweepers working. So go out there and add Nolan McLean. I think honestly, he's going to be if the hype doesn't get out of hand, definitely going to be somebody I'm interested for next season as well, for sure. Just love everything that Nolan McLean brings to the table for fantasy baseball and for the New York Mets, to be honest with you. So let's move on to his teammate, another guy, great debut, Jonah Tong. Listen, man, the Mets might have something working here, especially if Sparrow comes up next year, because I don't think he's coming up at this point, but has been very reminiscent of the Matt Harvey, Zach Wheeler, Steven Matz, those days, Jacob deGrom, that team, it has a lot of remnants of that. But Jonah Tong's first start was against Miami on August 29th, went 5 innings, got the win, 6 strikeouts, gave up 1 earned run, had a 1.20 whip. Man, really gets into it. He was out there, was smelling the ball, was just really doing his thing. He's 47% owned on Yahoo. So if you missed on McLean and McLean's owned, Tong's out there. I'd go out there and get Tong. He's projected to pitch, it looks like, at Cincinnati on Friday. So that's not a bad matchup. I think he can go out there and get it done. Cincinnati's tough, especially in that ballpark, small park, Great American small park out there. They can go out there and they could, smash against you on any given night. But they're 3-7 in the last 10. I know they're over 500 on the year. But I think Tong can go out there and get the job done against this Cincinnati team. So Tong, another must add for, me personally. I'll go out there and snag him if I can. Let's talk about Peyton Tolle. Talked about him, I believe it was last week or earlier in the week. And forgive my ignorance. I actually did misspeak. I do know about Peyton Tolle, has that big fastball, really good stuff. I misspoke and did say that he didn't have a very good fastball. Just a mincing of the words there. I do apologize about that one. But Peyton Tolle, like I said, good fastball, decent secondary stuff, throws that slider, throws his changeup as well. But another rookie. These rookies are hard to, figure out, especially these good ones. They're tough to figure out, in a quick time. But came out against Pittsburgh in his debut on August 29th, 5.1 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, couple earned runs, 0.94 whip in that one. So good stuff. It looks like he's going to get Arizona in his next start. I think he can go out there and handle them. Tolle's another one, one of the biggest risers in all of prospects this year. Was up to the 28th prospect overall in all of baseball, according to MLB.com, before his debut. and was killing it down in the minors. Had 18 starts, 3.04 ERA, 91 innings pitched, 133 strikeouts. Batters were hitting 203 against him with an 0.99 whip. Love this kid, Tolle. I think he's going to be a really good starting pitcher for Boston in the future. 30% owned on Yahoo. I'd rank them. I'd probably go McLean, Tolle, Tong. But, honestly, if you could go out there and find – if all three of these guys are out there in your league, I feel sorry for you, man, because it puts you in a tough spot. I'd want to add all of them if I could, because I think they're all going to be very useful down the stretch. I'll sneak in this last guy. I'm not going to talk about him too much, but I do want to mention him. Because I did talk about his name earlier, Ian Seymour of the Tampa Bay Rays. Another young kid, 26, old for a rookie, but still young. Great showing in his first two starts here in the bigs. Did throw a couple of innings out of the bullpen though before getting the two starts. So Ian Seymour on the year, 3 wins, 2.97 ERA, 102 WHIP, 33 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts. He's looked fantastic this year. Could get the Guardians this weekend, it looks like. So I'd go out there and snag him. That's a great matchup. He's 30% owned on Yahoo. Has a decent minor league track record, some ups and downs, but good strikeout guy. And, hey, listen, if he can keep it rolling down the stretch here, teams don't have a lot of time to figure him out. So while the book isn't out on Ian Seymour, I'd go out there and add him. But, guys, that is all for today. Shout out to our everydayers and new listeners for making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. And for your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB or on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. So, guys, until next time, see ya.